Hello, welcome to Die Rollin. I'm the ever-excitable Adam, and today I'm playing Chronicles of Drunagor. This is the second chapter. If you missed the first chapter, then go back and check it out. What are you doing, weirdos? I painted up all the minis, so you don't have to, and you get to watch me stumble my way through a bigger mission. We've got interactions in this one, and I don't know what's going to happen. There's at least 3 doors in this, so it's going to be a bit of a longer video. But yeah, let's see how I get on. Chapter 2, Black River's missing. The caravan arrives at the town of Black River just as night falls at the end of the following day. The town is in turmoil, as the militias had been called in for the many strong arms that would be needed to build the palisade around the settlement. Having introduced yourself to the mayor, Matthias Cormac, as a volunteer adventurer, you walk alongside him as he inspects the construction of the town's defences, learning about its problems and how you might help deal with these.
The last time we built one of these,
says Matthias, pausing to watch the work of some men,
was half a century ago, and my grandfather believed that it would be the last time our people would face a wave of incursions. However, now we have no choice but to arm peasants, fishermen and artisans against those things that have arisen in the woods.
He concludes with a heavy voice.
Almost every night, monstrosities attack us like maddened men, lassoing those who cannot fight or flee as if capturing animals.
He explains with a frown.
I know these bastards have made their nest in James Erst's old fortress, but the 2 times I tried to fight them there, I was forced to retreat with less than half my men. However, where direct confrontation has failed, it could be that a more subtle approach will work.
Following the advice of the priest you met the day before, you offer to help, leaving early in the morning under the day's protection. The journey through the riverine forest is calm, and after half a day's march, you come across the ruins of the aforementioned fortress, built upon a high bluff that overlooks the mighty Black River. On another occasion, you would even be content to spend time here, enjoying a view adorned by the patina of time. The silence makes you wonder if anyone actually inhabits the place, but recent tracks that look as though heavy loads were dragged into the keep indicate that something is going on here. Without hesitating, you'd advance towards the fortress on the mountainside, preparing for the worst. Okay, so this time around, guys, we actually have the darkness spawning, and the darkness is always coming out of this little thing over here. So we've got to be quick, really, because as soon as it comes out, it's going to start, taking us out. In this adventure, the darkness will emerge from the darkness spawning points, or from the darkness already on the board. Place the darkness hunting rune card with face A at the end of the initiative track. Whenever the initiative marker reaches it, you must draw the indicated number of runes, one at a time, place their respective darkness tiles on the board. Place the drawn runes on the initiative track and then flip the rune card over. Darkness behavior is standard, so the darkness will chase the strongest hero that's not already on top of darkness. Recall action curse penalty, we get 1 curse cube, and we win and lose the adventure. The adventurer fails immediately when one of the following occurs. A hero is defeated by receiving more curse cubes or trauma cubes than they can hold, or the last rune in the bag is drawn. The adventure ends successfully when a player reads an entry that states, "The adventure ends here." So, just to remind you guys, I went down the melee route for both of our characters. So, Vaughn has got the knee breaker ability, +3 hit, +2 damage, and knockdown, which gives him an additional yellow cube just on the camera there. And Laurier has exactly the same thing. She has got a melee skill, which is redirect, self-prevent 4, telekinesis 6. So, I'm pretty happy with both of those. We have an interaction token on the board here as well, and no enemies to kind of deal with at the moment. So Vaughn starts first, and we're saying that Laurier actually got the aura last time. So basically, all her prevents are +1. So that should hopefully help her survive this dungeon. Okay, so Vaughn begins this off, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. He's then going to use one of his cube actions he would have done to move 2 more spaces, and he's then going to interact as a minor action with the interaction. So we go to page 6. So we can pry the gems out, we can examine the parchment, we can pull the yellow flame torch, we can pull the handle, examine the running water, pull the blue flame torch. I think we're going to check out the parchment because that is probably the safest thing to do. You pull the strangely well-presented parchment from the statue's mouth and examine it, trying to understand the confusing runes written on it in blood. Make a Wisdom Blue skill challenge of difficulty 11. Each Wisdom cube you have gives you +2 bonus to your roll. If you follow the path of mystics, this challenge is considered successful without a roll. Well, if only we had got Lorelei to examine the parchment. So we have 1 blue cube, so we've got a +2 to this. So we need to get a 9 or more. And we failed. You try hard, but the symbols all seem confusing to you. Stuttering, you babble some charms that you thought you had unraveled, and even get excited when you realize that the runes sparkled in resonance with your words. However, you soon discover that this was not a good sign. You gain focus 2 and write down the spell shock aura on your campaign log. As long as you have it, whenever you take a reaction, you suffer fatigue 1. Ugh. But I do have a fatigue 2, I do have a focus 2, which is pretty good. And our charge has gone down to 1 on this now. And we are going to open up this door as well. So we've had a proper old run up there. We've done 1 movement action. One of our cube actions has been to move. So now we're going to open up this door. The old armory. Advancing through the door, you reach an underground chamber far from any light, which in the past served the fortress as an armory. Within, lurking among the shadows, lay more of those unearthed skeletons, and also people with an errant appearance and demeanor. To say the least, you wonder if you could still regard them as such. What was going on here? Could there be someone behind all of this, like there was when you faced a similar situation just a few weeks ago? So we got a very first bridge. Nice. And we've got a grey monster rookie, a skeleton archer rookie, interaction token 2, 1 chest token, and we've got a rookie. And we've got a trap door. When this door is open, right after completing your setup, if any here has the Shattered Barrier Thunder status on the campaign log, they must erase it and nothing happens. Otherwise, if no one has it, a trap is triggered and each hero must make an agility green skill challenge of difficulty 11. Each agility cube that I have give them +2 bonus to their roll. Here's a fail, the check suffer 2 non-preventable damage and stun. Yikes. Okay, let's set this up. So this is the new setup here then, guys. So we have got a rotten flesh here. We have an executioner and we have an archer. I've added their respective things to the track there. We have got an interaction token over here, which has got 2 on there. And we have a chest over here, which we can explore. This down here is kind of lava, so if we end up in here, it's going to be, 2 burn. We don't want that, do we, really? But we can go down that way if we want to. And because the door was trapped, we have to do an agility check. So we've got a +2 bonus on this. So both of us need to get 9 or more. So starting with Vaughn. So Vaughn got a 10, and then Lorelei, an 18. So we're all fine. Vaughn still has 1 action left. So we're actually going to pile in there. I think that kind of makes sense. So we're going to use our a yellow cube to join the fray. Self-shield 2, move 2 spaces, and then attack for 2. And we got a 10 there. So that will do 3 damage to our guy. And we go to the Executioner. So just to remind you guys, the Executioner, he's got speed of 4, he does a cleave 2, bleed 1, and a slow effect if it goes through. So let's see how he gets on. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 damage. So our shield 2 takes some of that damage away. And then we're going to use a blue cube to prevent 3 of those using my divert ability. Skeleton Archer now activates. So he's going to move 1 there. He can now attack Vaughn twice. So he will. So the first one, we're going to prevent that with a red cube to prevent 3 of those. Another shot comes through, and we're going to have to take that, unfortunately. So it's 3 damage, and we get poisoned. Lorelei's turn. So she's all the way at the back here, guys. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And it's worth noting before Lorelei continues, we do actually have fatigue with Vaughn at the moment. So that basically means every time he expends something to do a reaction, we actually have to spend an additional cube. So, which does nothing. So green we've got to use. So I'm just going to place it over there, and we've got to use a yellow as well because he reacted twice. Sorry, Lorelei's turn continues. She's going to, I feel like, do we even bother reacting this? We need to try and take out some of these guys. So, Lorelei from over there, she's going to spend another one of her... She's going to spend a green action cube to do a jump 3 self-focus one. I'm just going to move her there. So she gets a focus thing, which will help her. And then she's going to use a red cube to do a twin strike attack on this guy here. So 14, so that's enough. So that does 3 damage. And a 4 there. Now she can re-roll because she can do that once per game. And she got, sorry, once per turn. And she misses with that last one. That is a shame. Okay, so we go on to the Rotten Flesh. He attacks. And he actually attacks twice. So the first one, we're going to use the crossed parry here to prevent all damage. But we do have to then expend an action cube. So we get all of our action cubes back. But it was a unwilling recall, so we're going to get rid of our, oh my god, it's tricky, our Whirlwind of Steel. We're going to get rid of that. And then it attacks again, so we're going to prevent that with our blue cube, and we're going to get rid of a yellow cube because we're fatigued. We need to get rid of that aura any way we can because that is ridiculous. And now we're out the end of the round. So we draw a rune. And we've drawn this one. And we flip this over. So the darkness is going to be chasing us up out of here. We draw on 2 runes going forward. It's on to Vaughn's turn. Vaughn takes 1 damage from the poison he currently has on him. We're going to start with a guarding strike. So it's a shield +2, +2 to hit, and +1 damage. So that will hit. So it's 4 damage onto our yellow guy. He is then going to do the knee breaker as his last attack. That'll do it. So it's +2 damage. This is 5 damage in total. So he's killed this guy. So our executioner is gone. And then he's going to move 1, 2. Right, goes to the skeleton archer. The skeleton archer is going to have to move. He's going to move back this way, and he's going to try to attack Vaughn twice. So Vaughn blocks the first 2 damage with that. And we're going to let 1 damage go through. So he now has poison 2. And then another attack comes through, and he's going to use his green on there. We'll get rid of a red due to the fatigue, and we prevent all that other damage coming through. Lorelei's turn. So we're going to move Lorelei there. She's then going to use her telekinetic thrust. So it's +0 hit, +1 damage, and telekinesis 3. So she's going to try and basically move this guy onto the burning embers below, which will be pretty cool. We get to reroll once per turn. That's a 14, so that does it. So we are doing 4 damage to our pink monster. We're moving him up to 3 spaces away. And he now has the burn 2 condition when he activates. And she's got 1 more action left. She's going to use her blue cube on a gravity swipe. She could target anybody here, so she's going to do 1 damage to our rotten flesh there, and also knock him down, so he can't move. Then goes the rotten flesh. They kind of stand up. Well, they take 2 damage to begin with. And he's still on the lava because he can't move, so he gets another burn 2. So he's essentially dead next round. And he can't attack anybody. So we move over. We're drawing 2 runes now. Flipping the card. So first rune is one of these. So Lorelei takes 2 non-preventable damage from being on the darkness. And we draw another rune, which is this guy. Back to Vaughn. He takes 2 poison damage. And we're going to take a heal 2, cleanse 1 action. So he poisons down to 1. He heals 2 hit points. And we have to do a unwilling recall at this point. And we're going to get rid of our Bull Rush, I think. We're then going to use a yellow cube for the join the fray. So he gets a shield 2, moves 2 spaces, and he attacks. And we got an 11, so that's enough. So that will do 3 damage to our skeleton. We also have a movement. So why don't we go down here and do a minor interaction to open up this chest. Wish me luck that it's not booby trapped. So we get a bleed 2. What do we find behind the chest? So we find a scroll of Incinerate, discard 2 damage and burn 4. And we're going to do this straight away. So there's 2 damage to our skeleton. And adds a burn 4 to them. So we go over to the skeleton archer. He activates, he takes forward burn damage. He's dead. We then go to Lorelei. And she's going to go 1, 2, 3. So she gets a burn at 2 for this. But she's then going to do a heal 2 and cleanse 1, which gets that down to there. And then she's going to do a... Do I want to move at this point, guys, and open the next door, or do I want to try and get rid of that other fire? Yeah, we're going to do a focus 1 and cleanse 1. So she's now got 2 of these. We activate this guy and he burns to death. And we draw 1 rune from the bag. It's an L shape, which is a pretty good one to get. For the darkness at least, not for us. This is 2 damage to Vaughn, non-preventable. Okay, Vaughn takes 3 damage from his various ailments. Not looking good for Vaughn at the moment here. Part of me like, do I bother with that interaction or do I just plow through? I think I'm going to plow through. 1, 2, and he's opening the door. The storage room. Going through the next door, you come across what must have been a storeroom or basement. A strange gloom lingers ahead as a monstrous creature covered in plate armor steps out of the shadow menacingly. Nearby, another figure lay still, a priest in the robes of the Church of the Setting Sun, in such a frail state that you can't tell whether he is dead or alive, resting in the corner of the wall. Our first big dude. So we get a black monster, a Shadow Knight rookie, 1 grey monster rookie. We get an interaction token, which must be the guy, a chest token, and a white monster as well. Trapdoor barrier. When this door is opened right after completing its setup, if any hero has the Shattered Barrier Inferno status on the campaign log, they must erase it and nothing special happens. Otherwise, if no hero has it, a trap is triggered and each hero must make an agility skill check of difficulty 11. I imagine getting these interaction things would probably get me those barrier things. Oh well. We found ourselves a Rotten Flesh, a cultist, and our very first black monster, which is a Shadow Knight. So he's a large monster, that's what that means. He's immune to difficult terrain. And he's got shield 1, so he'll always do that at the beginning of his round. He's got strike 2 and knockdown. He does 4 damage. He's got a speed of 2. He's got 15 hit points, so he's pretty old tough, that guy. He's activating right at the very end, before the darkness comes. Okay, so I also forgot to do an unwilling recall for Lorelei, so she's going to have all this back, and she's got no curse cubes on at the moment, which is she's having a great time. We're going to get rid of her Astral Strike. Okay, so Vaughn just did a movement and a minor action, so he's got some more turns to go. He's not doing especially great, if I'm honest. So he's going to use a melee to do a heal 2 and cleanse 1 to get rid of the last poison that's on him. And then he's going to do his first aid, move 3, self heal 2. So he can go there and there, and he heals 2 damage. That's Vaughn's go. We then go all the way to Lorelei. Now, I really don't like the cultist, so we're actually going to use one of her magic abilities for Gravity Swipe. Does 1 damage to the cultist and knocks them down. So they're not moving anywhere. She's then going to use a red cube. So she can use this on Vaughn because he's in range to heal 2, cleanse 1 from him, and then she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's the end of Lorelei's movement. And we go on to the villains of the piece without interacting with any of this stuff over here, which is a bit of a pity, but there we are. Okay, so starting with the Shadow Cultist, so they activate. There's nothing they can do. So then the Rotten Flesh. It's only got a speed of 3. So it moves there. Okay, so we're now activating our Shadow Knight. He has a shield of 1. Then he moves 2 spaces. Now he actually moves areas, so he actually moves in there. We get to choose where this guy is shoved now. So we can go back, or we can go towards our heroes. And do you know what? I think we're going to put him into the water just there, because it means we can actually attack him a bit better this next round. So we're drawing 2 runes this time. So we get a straight rune, and we cannot place that on here, so we get 3 single runes. By runes I mean we get 3 single of these darkness tiles. So Lorelei takes 2 damage, she can't prevent that. And the next rune that comes out is an L, which is great because we can also use that. Great for the darkness, not great for us. 2 damage to Vaughn. And we're on to a new round. Oh, I don't really fancy our chances on this, guys. It's really tough. So Vaughn, he takes 1 damage from the bleed effect he has on him. And we're going to move him here. Probably a bad position. Just trying to get away from the darkness. He's going to get him this round anyway. And we're going to do the arcing. Oh man, this is very tough. We'll do the knee breaker. Plus 3 damage. Plus 3 to hit, plus 2 damage, and knockdown. So hopefully we can do something good here. So 18, which is great. We get a plus 2 to our shield on this because we rolled over 14. It's plus 2 damage, so it's 5 damage. Now, do we want to do that on the big guy or we want it on the blue guy? Let's do it on the big guy. So our Dark Knight is down to 10. We're then going to do a red cube to do a focus 1 and cleanse 1. We get rid of our bleeding. We get 1 focus token. And that's the end of Vaughn's turn, unfortunately. So we go over to Lorelei. Lorelei, she's on the darkness, so we kind of want to move her off that if possible. So we're going to move her 1, 2 over there. She's got a range on both these guys now. Well, still. But she's only got melee abilities. So we actually do, I'll have to rewind that. We need to get her somewhere a bit closer. So she's going to go there. I'm going to use 2 lots of melee here. So we're going to do a mortal blow first. So it's +1 damage, and crits are on 16 or more. And we weren't aiming at this guy, so that would have been missed, so we're going to re-roll that. Okay, so that worked out really well. So we do 4 damage, 8 damage in total to him. And he's got 2 hit points left. Yikes. Okay, in that case then, we're going to do a twin strike. So it's 2 hits, 2 different attacks. So that is enough to do 3 damage to the big guy. I realize he's got a shield of 1, so actually the shield 1's gone. It's still enough to get rid of him. So we get rid of the Shadow Knight. And then she's going for this, this monster. And that's enough to do 3 damage to our blue guy. And that's a pretty successful round for her, I think. Okay, moving on to our Shadow Cultists next. So they're going to move 3. They need to move 1 space, and they're going to attack the person who's the strongest, which at the moment is Vaughn. So they're going to do 4 damage, but we've got 4 shield there for Vaughn, so that is ignored. The Rotten Flesh attacks Vaughn now, though. He attacks twice and Intimidate 1. So he does 3 damage to begin with. We react with a blue cube to prevent 3 damage. We then have to do a force recall. So we're going to get rid of our arcing swing ability. Hopefully that won't be too bad. And then it attacks us again, and we're going to use the same blue cube, and we're going to have to get rid of one of our yellow cubes. So that's what we're looking like now. We prevented the additional 3 damage going through. And we're drawing 1 rune this time. And it's one of those. We can't fit that on there, so we are going to have to do the 3 single tiles. But do you know what? That works out best with the darkness, because I actually managed to get on both of our heroes there. So 2 damage to both of our heroes. They cannot block. And we're on to a new round. Okay, so we want to get the heck off of this. So we're going to do first aid for our man here, so he can move 3 spaces and self heal 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So he's healed 2 from that as well. We're then going to do the knee breaker on this cultist. That's enough. So it does 2 damage to our cultist. Knocks them down. The door, by the way, out of here is actually there, but I've just kind of moved it over there. But we're going to interact. So we're going to do, instead of our last cube action, we're going to move over here instead, and we're going to interact with this, which is page 8. So we can offer a funeral prayer, examine the priest, examine the running water, loot the treasure bag, or loot the small chest. Let's examine the priest. I'm trying to be a good person here. This is probably going to work out bad. Examine the priest. Intrigued, you examine the priest. The gash in his belly was certainly fatal, but the reddened, vivid blood doesn't match the dry look of his body. What bothers you most is the presence of a dark ooze like oil that is slowly seeping out of the wound. This same substance is always present when corrupted enemies, for want of a better word, are around. You gain focus 2 and may erase an aura. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So he's no longer got that horrible fatigue thing, and he's got his critical hammer crush ability now, which is great. He's got 3 focus. That's great. I'm really happy with the outcome of that one. Okay, we're now moving on to Lorelei. She's on some horrible stuff here. So what does she want to do? Okay, we're going to do a jump 3, self-focus 1, so she can move 1, 2, 3. She has also got another focus token, which means she is able to use her special ability if she wants to. We're then going to use a red cube to do 2 magic bolts at this guy, hopefully taking him out. So yeah, that hits, so that will do 3 damage. And another 3 damage, which kills our cultist. But, our rotten flesh activates next. And he attacks Lorelei. So he attacks twice. So she's got a +1 to all of her defense. And also we have to recall all of our cubes first and block off one of our abilities. So we're going to block our magic missile. Okay, now he's going to attack twice. So we're going to use our new Prevent 4 ability. So redirect, self-prevent 4, and then telekinesis 6. So we're just going to move us down there. And his second attack will fail wildly. Actually, we'll move up there because that's furthest away from the darkness, which we're drawing 2 runes for now. So first one is a long one, which we can do. The next one is one of these, which we can't place down, so we got 3 single ones, which means, unfortunately, we're going to have Vaughn take some damage here. Okay, so it's Vaughn's turn. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to open the door, because he loves opening doors. And if there's another thing saying, oh, if you have barrier X, I'm going to be really annoyed. Okay, so the ritual chamber. Stepping forward again, you find yourself in a ruined chamber where thick columns rise to the ceiling, flanking a statue of a woman standing on a pedestal. Around her, a few more of those tormented people hum their dirge in a language you don't know, immersed in a kind of ritual. Tattered clothes, lost boots, and tools lie scattered everywhere, leading you quickly to conclude you have been fighting Black River's missing all along. All these guys are the people we're trying to find. Oh my word. So we have Dungeon Tray 3. We get a rookie grey monster, a rookie white monster, 2 chest tokens, and a rookie white monster again. Event trigger unraveling. When the last enemy is defeated, the current turn is paused, and you must read special event, an audience with your majesty. So let's set this up. Okay, so this is what the new chamber looks like. We've got some water to traverse here. No bridges this time. And then we've got a new skeleton. We've used the alternate side for this. So I'll go through what he is when he activates. We have a cultist and we have an executioner. So 4 enemies on the field. Vaughn did a movement and a minor action to do that. So we're going to use a red cube of his to do his join the fray. So he gets a shield 2 and he moves 2. He's going to try and do some damage to this guy. And yeah, that'll do it. So, oh no, that doesn't do it. He needs a 7 or more. So he, misses. Oh, yikes. And his last cube, so do a heal 2, but I'm going to do a guarding strike. So he gets him an additional 2 shield. +2 to hit and +1 damage. 18. So yeah, that's going to do it. So that will do 4 damage. Then move on to the executioner. He's got a speed of 4, so let's get him coming over this way. So our skeleton archer is a blood seeker, which means they go for the person with the lowest health. They got speed of 4, they've got a burn of 1, but only 6 hit points, which is lovely, if you ask my opinion, which you didn't. So he's got a speed of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not quite adjacent to anybody, so he can't actually hit anybody this turn. And doesn't have multi-shot, which is pretty nice. Okay, Lorelei's turn. She's going to use her Mortal Blow ability, a range attack on this guy over here. So it's a +1 damage and a critical is 16 or more. Oh my word, we got a 19. That is a crit, so that does double damage. So we'll do 8 damage to him, killing our blue guy, Wujooshk. Okay, she is then going to move. Where was she? She was there, so she can't unfortunately get anywhere. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. She's then going to use gravity swipe to do 1 damage and a knockdown on our guy here. And she's got minor actions, so do you know what? We're going to try and open this treasure chest, and hopefully there won't be anything in there. So far we've been fine, right guys? She has the slow condition. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But she finds something, which is always exciting. And she finds a potion of healing. Discard to self-heal 6. And as a minor action, do you know what? We're going to give that straight over to our man, Vaughn, because he's looking a bit peaky around the gills there. Yeah, that's everything that she can do, I believe. Yeah. So we're on to the next person, which is our shadow cultist, who spends her entire time standing up. And then we're drawing 1 rune from the rune bag. Which is a T. Which, you know, it's going to get both of them. 2 non-preventable damage. And Lorelei should have probably kept that herself, because she's only got 2 hit points left now. Oh, did not see that coming. And they got to get out of here before it comes back for them. So we're on to Vaughn. Vaughn is going to discard the potion to get 6 hit points. Up to 9 health, which is fantastic. He's then going to do a heal 2 on Lorelei. Cleanse 1, which I think gets rid of her slow condition. He is then going to move 1, 2, 3. Oh, and he had to do an unwilling recall before that, so we have another black cube on there. I'm going to get rid of his battle focus for this. He's then going to use the join the fray ability. So you can move 2, so I think we can move to there. And we're using the red cube for this. And a 15, so yeah, he does 3 damage to our Bloodseeker. Executioner's turn. He's moving 4 spaces. And he is adjacent now, so he can attack. And there's going to be 4 damage. Our shields prevent all 4 of those. Next, we move on to the Skeletor Archer. And he's going to move up here. And he can attack both of our characters here. But, oh no, he only attacks 1 person. So he is going to, he's got a speed of 4, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got a +2 to his damage here, so it's 6 damage coming into Lorelei. Shit. She's actually on 3 hit points. She got +1 to all of her preventions. So she's going to use a green cube to do her prevent 3 of those. So 3 come through, which means she is knocked out. So Lorelei is down, unfortunately. Remove all of. She gets a free kind of recall action. Takes a trauma cube. And we're going to put the trauma cube on her twin strikes for the moment. And they basically on the next activation she can get up. So that's where we're at now. It goes back to full hit points. I'm pretty certain she can just do her turn now. So let me know if that's not right in the comments below if you're familiar with the game. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of roll with it. Well, I'm an idiot. I just realised I could have prevented all of those wounds with her focus ability. So kind of too late at this point. We are going to use a 3 focus, though, to do a Spectral Strike, which is +3 damage +3 hit, +3 damage, and self-stealth. Let's move it first. So we're going to do jump 3. And she gets a focus. We're then going to use her Spectral Strike to do +3 damage, +3 hit on this guy, and she is also stealthed. Oh, my word. Okay, so that is 12 damage on our yellow guy, which kills him in 1 hit. And she is stealthed now for a turn. I put it on her so we remember she can't be targeted. And then do you know what? We're going to do a heal 2 and a cleanse 1 using a blue cube on our man Vaughn. He's got nothing to cleanse. Shadow Cultist now, speed of 4. But we'll go towards Vaughn because she's all stealthy like. Drawing 2 runes from the bag. Poor old Vaughn is going to get hit. So we get an L shape, which we can't use to get to Vaughn. So he takes 2 damage from that. And our next one is an L shape. Which, even though she's stealthed, I think she could probably still be attacked by the darkness. Is not fooled by her common tricks. So she takes 2 damage. Okay, Vaughn's turn. He's going to use his first aid to move 3. And heal 2. Then he's going to use his knee breaker to try to kill this so-and-so. 7, that's good. So it's going to do 5 damage to this guy. And knocks him down. Then he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And may as well interact with this over here. And he gets a bleed for his troubles. But he also finds a card of some variety. A potion of healing. Which we know is pretty good. Okay, that's the end of his go. So we're now moving on to the Skeleton Archer. He's got a speed of 4. Can't quite get in that because it's going to cost him 2 movement to get in there, so he can't actually do anything this round. Go to Lorelei. So, we're going to do a Mortal Blow with a red cube to try and get this guy. And we get to reroll once per turn, thankfully. And that was good because we got an 18, which with a Mortal Blow is a critical hit, so it does 8 damage in total, which absolutely obliterates this guy. She's then going to move into this space and use her magic bolt to attack this guy twice. So 9, she needs a +2 because he's higher up. That's still enough, so she does 3 damage to him. And that 3 damage was enough to kill him, so I don't know why I rolled again. So, yeah. Dead. Which I think means we now have to read the next bit. An audience with your majesty. As the last of your enemies fall and you finally begin to understand what is going on, you notice a passage underneath the base of the statue that appears to descend into a hidden chamber. The humming dirge continues to emerge from down there, along with a strange greenish light, and that is something new to you. You don't remember seeing such a light before, or at least not one that strong. Suddenly, whatever is making people lose their minds is coming from this place, and you need to go down and confront the evildoer behind these spells to put an end to it. You descend the stairs foot by foot, and when you step back onto solid ground, your eyes can hardly believe what you see. A sort of catacomb, adorned with alchemical paraphernalia, with bones scattered everywhere, along with more of that strange tar-like substance. However, nothing draws your attention more strongly than the being that you see up ahead, leading the chant, which now reverberates from the walls like the conductor of some blasphemous orchestra. Is this the culprit you're looking for? The creature responsible for your dearest one's downfall? Could it be that, in the end, as you feel in your heart and wish with all your forces that you're just another one of his victims? You are not welcome here, mortal. The figure intones, his tattered robes floating into the air as he recognizes your intrusion. His voice is husky, cadaverous, and echoes are distorted through the air, unlike any sound you've ever heard. But now that you've come, you can join us. He completes the threat with a terrible laugh. And somehow you know that if it isn't the last thing you hear in this life, this certainly will not be the last time you hear it. Twisted by the will of the crowned skeleton before you, the bones scattered across the vast dark water mirror covering the floor reassemble and rearm themselves. A strange fog hovers around you as if wanting to swallow you up and make you disappear into darkness, just as it seems to have done to the passage you emerged from. So, I'm not looking forward to this. Remove the Darkness Hunting rune card from the initiative track, remove all heroes from the board, and undo all current setups. All runes must be left on the initiative track, but no other cards beside the hero's initiative card should remain there at this point. Then make the following preparations. Okay, so I've just set this all up, and I've moved all the bits where I need to move them. So the Undead King board is just off to the side here, and this basically shows you how many hit points he has. So he's got 60 hit points. Because we have two characters. It does say if you're playing solo, he's only got 30, but we have got two characters, so I guess that means, he's at 60 hit points. However, that's going to increase, but we'll get to that. So at the top here in the initiative track, we've actually put down all of the Undead King's special cards, so they're going to activate as and when the initiative kind of token goes over them. All the players have chosen their starting space, which is me. I get to choose where we begin. We've also summoned skeleton archer minions. They've only got 3 hit points each. And it's the first time we've actually had runes actually affect the gameplay. So you see the X here. The X refers to the rune which they're with, and they're under the red rune. So we've already actually got 3 runes? Yeah, 3 runes there. So they're already doing their top movement for range 1, damage 3. If we'd had 0, then they'd be doing 0 damage, which would have been lovely. Only 3 hit points though, so that's fantastic. I'm happy with that. And only 2 because we've only got 2 players. Each hero takes a free recall action, recovers all of their health, and removes all conditions affecting them. Focus, shields, and other resources tokens are kept for this encounter. So I've not done this yet, so that's great. So our bleed, which was currently on our man Vaughn, is gone. His health points go all the way back up to... So we're going to get Vaughn to go first, and he's just going to angrily... We're going to use our green cube for a bull rush. So he moves 3 spaces. So he's on darkness there, so he takes 2 damage straight away for going on to darkness. But he does 2 damage to both of these guys. Then we're going to move 1, 2, 3. He takes another 2 damage from walking through darkness. And then we're going to do the hammer crush. So we're using all 3 of his focus to do his special attack. So it's 2 attacks, plus 3 to his hit, and he gets an additional 2 damage. So each of these is going to do 5 damage. Obviously 10 if we can manage to get a critical hit on this, but I doubt that'll happen. So here goes, I'll get rid of those. And here goes our first. So we got a 15 there, so that does 5 damage. And another 5 damage. And that's the end of Vaughn's go. I'm happy with that. But we now go to the first card from our Undead King. So you'll notice these are double-sided. So first encounter, raise dead. Draw 2 runes, but do not place the respective darkness tiles on the board. Then summon 1 skeleton archer minion per player. Okay, well, this is a bad thing because when you run out of runes, that is the end of the adventure in a kind of bad way. So we get a yellow and a blue. So these guys go on the board, but I don't know where, so I'm just going to place them there. So both of their hit points up to 3. So we then go past the support onto the green, and we have the Undead King jumps to the strongest hero's area. Each character in that area is thrown into the darkness pool. These characters will be affected by the darkness when they are thrown into it. Each hero chooses which square they're thrown into. So yeah, so he's basically jumping into this space here, and we're going to move me there. 2 damage straight away. We then go to the next attack. Resolve all conditions affecting the Undead King now. Then he attacks all enemies that are within range 1, dealing X plus 2 damage each. So 1, 2, so that's 3 plus 2. So it's 5 damage. And we'll turn him around because that's who he's facing. Okay, so we can obviously use our armor with a ranged. Yeah, let's do a ranged to prevent 3 of those, but 2 go through. And then we're on to the lovely Lorelei. So she's going to discard this. Discard 5 damage, telekinesis 3, and stun. Now, it doesn't say he's actually immune to stun, but he's a large creature, so I believe all large monsters are immune to movement and stun, those kind of things. We'll have a look. Yeah, so the stun won't work, but we have managed to deal damage to them, which is pretty good. So we're then going to use a blue cube to do magic missile, and we're going to take out these 2 guys here, yellow and blue. Then we're going to move 1, 2, and use our green cube to jump 3 and deal 2 damage, and we'll do that to the Undead King. So we're down to 60 hit points now. Okay, so then the minions activate. So this guy can actually hit both of them. So it's going to be 3 damage. So we're going to use a wisdom cube to prevent from there. They don't have multi-shot either, so, and they'll always go for the strongest character, and they're both on the same amount of hit points at the moment. Well, actually, no, he's got the most hit points, so another 3 damage coming through, which we can prevent with a divert. So protected, we've done all that. And then we have the, that was their activate all minions. And finally, Winds of Corruption. Each hero suffers a curse 1. Then the Undead King attacks each hero at any range, dealing X damage to each. Oh, this is tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 damage to each of them. But curse 1, so they both get a curse cube added on there. Vaughn's going to put that on his battle focus, as is Lorelei. Vaughn cannot protect against this, so he gets 4 damage. Lorelei can she's going to use her redirect, so she prevents all 4 of that damage coming through. And we're on to the next round. I don't think we'll do this, guys. I think we've got a lot to worry about here. Okay, well, Vaughn is going to move 1, 2, go around the side here, and he's going to use the knee breaker. So +3 to hit, +2 damage, and knockdown. Knockdown obviously won't work. But yeah, this is going to be 5 damage if we get it through. Oof. Wow, that does hit. So it does 5 damage to him. 55 hit points. We have to do a forced recall at this point. So we get another curse cube. That curse cube is going to go over the whirlwind attack, I think. We discard the potion to get him 6 hit points. And Vaughn is going to use the guarding strike for his last one. It gives him a shield 2. Kind of feel like we're going to need some shields here. He's got a +2 to his hit and +1 damage. So it's going to be 4 damage going through. 17, that's not too bad either. It gets us additional 2 shield because we got over 16 and we're doing 4 more damage onto the Undead King. He's now on 51 hit points. And now we have to deal with everything that's coming out of here. So the first thing that happens, we're going to be drawing 2 runes. And then we're going to be summoning 2 more skeletons. So we've got 2 blues. And then 2 more skeletons, so these guys come back on. Then we're on to green. The Undead King jumps to the strongest hero's area, which is still Vaughn. Each current arrow is thrown into the darkness pool, and he's going to go there. 2 damage to Vaughn. Unpreventable, unfortunately. Then we're on to resolve all conditions affecting the Undead King. Then he attacks all enemies that are within range 1, which is everybody, dealing X + 2. So 7 damage to both people, which is this is ridiculous. So 4 damage is blocked by Vaughn with his shields. And then he can use his blue to divert 3 of those, so he doesn't have to worry about that. 7 damage coming through to Lorelei. She can use a red for her cloth arm to prevent 2 of those. And then, actually that's preventing 3 because of her special kind of ability at the moment. So 4 damage going through. I'm not sure we'll get to her turn. Yes, we will. Lorelei's turn. She's got 2 hit points left. What do we do at this point? What do we do? Okay, she's going to do a mortal blow against Undead King. So this is a +0 to hit, +1 damage, and crits over 16 or more. Oh, 17. So, that'll be 8 damage to this guy. So from 43 hit points. And then in for a penny, in for a pound, we're going to move 3 spaces. So we're kind of behind the king over there. And then we're going to use our last cube to do a twin strike. So this is 2 attacks on him from behind. But there's no any bonuses for this. But hopefully this will do some damage. So first one misses, so we can re-roll that. So yeah, that will do it. So that's another 3 damage. So from 40 hit points. 16. So we're on 37. There, Lorelei should have used some healing. She gets to recall everything, so we get a new curse cube added to her, and we'll put that on her gravity swipe ability. We're then activating all the minions. So they go for the strongest one. So we're going to start with green. So he's going to move 1, 2. Oh, actually, they do +2 damage when they're on here as well. So they're actually doing 5 damage. So we're going to prevent 3 of those using the plate armor. So 2 damage goes through to Vaughn. We're then going to get the next one to move there. He's doing the same thing. So it's 5 damage coming through. We use a green to prevent 3 of those, 2 damage going through. Then blue is going to then move along here. He's going to attack, and do we have anything to prevent this? We do not, so that's 5 damage going through. That's enough to knock Vaughn out. So Vaughn is knocked out. We get all of his stuff back, and we get a trauma cube, and we're going to add the trauma cube to our remove curse ability. And then this guy is going to move up here, and he's going to attack. Well, actually, we can go 1, 2, 3. He's going around the back there because he'll do 2 additional damage. So it's 5 damage coming through to Lorelei. She can use her yellow to prevent all 5 of those damage coming through. Nice. And she's got telekinesis 6. So I think she can throw other people away. Actually, do you know what? No, we'll leave him there, and she'll telekinesis herself up to here. She has the high ground. Now, each hero suffers curse 1, then the undead king attacks each hero with X damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 4. So we both get a curse cube, and we can actually ignore 3 of those. So she's on 1 hit point. Amazing. So we start a new round. Vaughan is up and at him. Back to full health. And unfortunately, he's going to have to take some damage to actually go somewhere. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Takes 2 damage for that. He's then going to use his knee breaker. 14, 15, 16. So that is 5 damage. And then we're going to do the guarding strike, which gets him shield of 2. He's a +2 to the hit and +1 damage. Nice. So he gets an additional 2 shield because he rolled over 16. And he is doing 4 damage, which puts us down to 28 hit points. So I did my move. I did 2 attacks. And we're on to drawing 2 runes again. And summoning any skeletons, but we can't summon anymore. So we have a blue and a green. The blue's not good. Green, the undead king jumps to the stronger hero's area. Each character in that area is thrown into the darkness pool. So he's jumping over here. And we're going to be sloshed over there. 2 damage to Vaughan for that. Then we move on to the green one, which is... sorry, we did that one. We move on to the blue one, which is... attacks all enemies that are within range 1, dealing X +2 damage to each. So it's going to be 8 damage coming through. The only person he can target is currently Vaughan. Vaughan can prevent 3 of those. So 5 damage coming through. Oh, he had 4 shields, so 1 damage goes through. And then we're on to Lorelei. She's going to move 1, 2, and then she's going to use her Mortal Blow with a red cube. She's going to move there actually, because then she's actually close enough to... where was I? This is frustrating because I only have a red and a... Should go there. It's Mortal Blow. Whoa, natural 20. Okay, so that is going to be a 8 damage. So we're on 20 hit points now. She's got 1 more action left. She's going to use a blue cube to do a heal 2 and cleanse 1 onto Vaughan. So Vaughan heals 2 and he cleanses, but there's nothing to cleanse. We then go on to activating all the minions, and Vaughan is the strongest, so they're going to go for him. So starting with this red guy there, he's going to move into this space there, and he will do 5 damage. We can prevent 3 of those, so 2 go through. This guy comes along. 5 damage. We can prevent 3 of those, so 2 go through. Then we have this guy come across. 5 damage. We cannot prevent any of those. So 3 hit points now. And then this guy, 1, 2, he can't be next to him, so 1, 2, 3. Just behind the undead king there. And he does 5 damage, which is enough to knock out Vaughan. Which is enough to end the adventure in failure. We only had 20 hit points left on this guy. Vaughan is... We'll put a trauma cube on him. On his first aid of all places. So the heroes failed. So ending the adventure, all hail the king. The heroes were defeated. The fight was intense, but your enemy proved stronger than you. Having reached your limit, you fall to your knees as 1,000 thoughts race through your head. You are a fighter. I'll give you that, he says, along with another husky laugh. Even though his decomposed face doesn't offer any expression, you could swear he looked pleased. Although I feel compelled to give death to those who seek it, Your audacity has entertained me. Because of that, and because I have completed what I came here to do, I will spare you this time. You continue to contemplate the dreadful figure without knowing what to say, or even if you should or deserve to speak. The darkness has come, mortal. The time of the Durenians is over, and I at last will wear the crown that is my due. Return to your people with the life I took and gave back to you, but let everyone know that the true king, the undead king, has arrived. And these are the last words you hear before you fall into unconsciousness. The party leader writes down the humbled outcome on their campaign log. After the adventure, the aftermath. Suddenly you wake up in the inn at Black River, gasping for breath as if you were drowning. Somehow you had managed to return to the small village, although you cannot remember how. The mayor is nearby, apprehensive but with a look of gratitude on his face. An emissary from the doctrine of the setting sun is also standing beside you, a bowl of porridge in his hand. You did well, my fellow. Mayor Cormac has informed me of your incursion, and since that day 2 moons ago, the rangers reported that the old fortress has been quiet and appears to be unoccupied. He offers you the bowl. Whatever you did, it worked. You discovered the tragic fate of Black River's missing, but that wasn't all, and you report everything you saw that you didn't quite understand. Number 1, there was an undead king. Number 2, he was bewitching and sacrificing people for a ritual for what he only hinted. Number 3, the ritual was complete. After you share these details, the envoy ponders for a moment. This is serious, very serious, and it can't just be between us. My fellow, I know I'm in no position to ask you for anything, but we need your help once more. I must return to the cathedral and inform the doctrine of what you've reported to me. However, I have been dispatched on another mission, also very important, that I will need you to fulfill for me. You must find the sage Tharmagar in Umberl and escort him to Valeray. His knowledge will be crucial for what is to come. He concludes, handing you a badge and a writ. You accept the task. Now more than ever, this has become a personal matter for you. The path to your redemption seems to lie in helping your people fight and find the truth behind it all. Yet you notice, this is also the first time in weeks that you don't feel guilty, and in the end, you conclude the priest was right. You want to thank him, but you can't find him anywhere. And no one in the caravan you came to Black River with remembers seeing you in the company of a priest. So we get to reveal all cards from the level 1 equipment deck, and each player chooses 1 equipment card. So we're going to go for an upgrade, the Orcish Blade. So it's 9 to actually hit with this, so it's harder to hit, but it's going to do 5 damage. So I think we're going to go for that. I think that's a good shout. And we're also going to upgrade Lorelei's weapon. So she's now got the Staff of the Moon. Whenever you roll 16 or more, choose a target within range 1. You can cleanse, or you can add burning to your attack. So she's got the ability to actually set people on fire now, or cleanse people. Cleanse them with a holy flame.
Well, I was not expecting a boss battle. That is fantastic. And what a fun little boss battle that was. I really enjoyed the different stages to its attacks. And I feel like the more people I had there, I could have maybe done more, but the problem is he would have had more hit points. Great. Absolutely fantastic boss battle. I absolutely loved that. It was so well thought out, so thematic. And I'm enjoying the story as well. The fact that the priest who started this whole thing off might have been in my head, or maybe is the undead king himself. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that. We've got another chapter after this one, and then I need to finish painting up the miniatures so we can go on to the side quest of the Ruin of Lurkanor. And what I'll do with that side quest is I'll actually do a complete review for that, because, well, I would have played it, so that's nice. If you've enjoyed this video, then stay tuned to the channel, because we'll be doing some more Chronicles of Drunagor. There's going to be at least 2 more videos coming up, if I can paint stuff in time. And yeah, not sure when they'll be edited and when they'll be released, but stay tuned to the channel. If you want to stay tuned, then you can subscribe so you can follow us, or you become an Ultimate Badass, which is the name of our membership, where you can pay £2 and yeah, help us keep the lights on and bring you really fun content. I've been the ever excitable Adam. Until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.